Hey, this is Carlos Rafael Rivera, and I wanted to break down the main title for Dept Q. Let me just play it back first, and then we can talk about it. So that's it. I mean, that's pretty much the demo as I sent it to him. And I did get to have Brian Kilgore play the bowdron. And as I was in the search for authentic instrumentation and styles, that was one of the things. But the other thing was the fact that Scott Frank, the writer-director, wanted a very aggressive and muscular score and vibe to the story, basically for two reasons. One of them is it deserved it, but also our main character, DCI Carl Mork, is a man whose life is in free fall. So I started thinking of the idea of notes that kept going down. So a lot of it you're going to hear, like when you hear this stuff in the bagpipes, but it keeps going down. It's just going down, right? And then we have actually now trying to see what the first thing I did was actually come up with the acoustic guitar chords that were really chords that Scott Frank had written, and they belonged against that melodic idea going down. So even though I think I bring them in halfway through, yeah. And one of the things is that don't know which one it is. I think it's this one is higher. Yeah, this one has what, for guitar nerds, it has a capo like on the 5th fret or 7th, I forget. It's just because it has a higher range. This one is actually like in the first position when you hear it. No, that one. That's the one. So when you hear them both, it just sounds really nice to have one with a capo on and one without it. Playing the same chords but in different positions, it just expands it. And I like placing them, on the left and then on the right, obviously, as I labeled it. On top of that, we have the idea of the high notes. That actually, let me get the electric guitars going so you can hear what they're doing. So it's very aggressive and very sloppy because the whole point isn't to be like precious about anything, right? So you got this going here. It's like just really kind of, listen, this one's like really aggressive, but they're just, ugh. And then the high one comes and joins it after. And it goes la 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 la, but it's like so bad when you hear it alone. Check it out; it's really sloppy. And I love that. But the thing is, the bass kind of makes up for it. And I've been using this bass sound. I love it since since Godless. I think I was using it, and it's kind of just has a little bit of a sub to it. But check it out. So I get to have the bass go ba-da-da-da-da-da because I love Geddy Lee, but I'm not as good a bass player. But you get the idea. The whole thing is really trying to capture an attitude as opposed to anything else. When you hear this with the acoustics, for example, here and here, these are electrics and acoustics only. And the bass. it has this sort of vibe that's really lilty and moving. But one of the things that I use a lot in the show, that for every other cue just about, is this guitar damage by Heavyocity, or damaged guitar. Let me get rid of the solos and just solo this guy. But you can I love this sound. It turned out to be very much of the show. Playable guitar textures. It's just, man, it's just so beautiful. It just creates a vibe. It adds this, and along with real EBow guitar, which is like you play it with a kind of a magnet that activates the string. This is the high stuff, kind of comes in later, but you can hear it along with this. Very raw. And this is what creates that feedback at the end that goes, da-da-da. It's like really raw. You'll see that it's these instruments, not so much electric guitars, but these guys. It's got the, and it's freaking fun. So that, along with the voices. So the voices I wanted to talk about real quick as well, because they are just very messy. This was intended to do, I sang this with my son. And so I have kind of like two versions, a sloppy version and the vocal version. So this is just what I did with my son. You'll hear it come in halfway, actually. Because sometimes when you're doing these things, you don't know what's going on. You're just layering things, and all of a sudden you start to edit down. So you can see kind of how the voices were originally done, but they don't come in till about here. But anyway, I'll play it. And I wanted to have this sort of na-na-na-na. But the funny thing is, what I really wanted at the beginning is that I wanted to sing the melody going down. So I was doing this, I was punching my chest, kind of, and ended up not using it. But you can kind of hear it here. Let's just check it out. Let me put it a little bit here so you can hear what I was doing at the beginning. You can kind of hear me doing that. That was a fail. It didn't happen. But you heard it. And then there it is. And that's kind of the clean version. And then there's this version, which is the sloppy one. And this is what I did here. It's just a little rawer. Same idea. Like almost pitchy and just I just wanted to add it and blend it in so it didn't sound so perfect. And so you get the idea. It's just, vocals are just doing this and mixed in with the whole thing. Oh, I should talk about the drums. Percussion, I got Brian Kilgore to play Baldron, and who is just a beast. And I ended up using, also, I think from Heavyocity, really cool damaged drums that are, I don't know, they just turn out to happen. They play a lot throughout the show, but you can play a little bit. This rim's damage was like all over the place. I really made use of it. I also kind of placed things in different places to make sure they were spaced out as I was hitting them, so you can kind of hear it. See, they're playing on the edges. And then, like, it really is effective in areas like... It's got this real aggressive thing. Anyways, when you hear the whole thing, it's this kind of together. So that's the main title as it was built. I hope you didn't fall asleep and got something out of that. But there was a real rawness, and kind of I was excited about this. Actually, we got to add orchestra to the final version that's in the show and in the soundtrack. And choir, man, we got the folks from Budapest to do an amazing job, and it it was funny because it took a little bit because they were singing la 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 when we started. I was like, no. Pretend you've been like out drinking all night and having the best part, and instead of singing Happy Birthday, you're going to be doing this, and this is the song to sing, just to give it some kind of visceral aspect. They nailed it. So a lot of fun. Thanks for listening, and I appreciate it, and I hope this helps anybody out there doing what you do. So keep on doing, keep on making. Bye.